Have you ever had one of those days where everything seemed perfectly normal, yet something inside you felt completely empty? You wake up, check your phone, reply to a few messages, eat breakfast, go to work or school, smile when someone talks to you, maybe even laugh at a joke, and from the outside your life looks exactly the way it should. Nothing terrible has happened. No tragedy. No major loss. You have a roof over your head. You have food to eat. Some people even tell you how lucky you are. But then, late at night, when the world finally becomes quiet and there is nothing left to distract you, an uncomfortable feeling slowly appears. It doesn't scream. It whispers. A strange emptiness settles somewhere deep inside your chest. And suddenly one question quietly enters your mind. Why don't I feel happy? You immediately try to push the thought away. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I need a vacation. Maybe I need a new phone, a better job, a different relationship, or maybe I just need to sleep. But days become weeks, weeks become months, and somehow that feeling never completely disappears. It follows you into crowded rooms. It sits beside you while you're scrolling social media. It hides behind every achievement. Even after reaching goals you once dreamed about, the emptiness quietly returns as if nothing has changed. Here's the strange part. Psychology says this feeling is becoming more common than ever before, especially in a world where we have more comfort, more entertainment, and more technology than any generation before us. That sounds impossible, doesn't it? If life keeps getting easier, why are so many people secretly feeling emptier? The answer begins inside your brain. Most people believe happiness comes from getting what they want. Your brain doesn't work that way. Every time you achieve something new, your brain releases dopamine, a chemical often called the motivation molecule. Feels exciting. You buy something you've wanted for months. Your brain rewards you. You receive compliments online. Another small reward. You finish a big project. Another reward. Someone falls in love with you. Another reward. For a short time, everything feels amazing. But then something incredible happens. Your brain quickly adjusts. What once felt exciting becomes normal. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Your brain is designed to get used to almost everything, whether it's a luxury car, a bigger house, a promotion, or thousands of followers. This ability once helped humans survive by constantly pushing them to improve their chances of staying alive. But in modern life, it creates a hidden trap. We keep chasing the next reward, believing it will finally make us feel complete. Yet every reward fades faster than the one before it. Imagine trying to fill a bucket with water while there's a small hole in the bottom. At first, the bucket fills. Then, slowly, the water disappears. So you pour in more. More success. More money. More entertainment. More shopping. More scrolling. More achievements. Yet no matter how much you add, the bucket never stays full. The problem isn't the amount of water. The problem is the hole you never noticed. That's exactly what emotional emptiness feels like. Most people spend years trying to fill the bucket without ever asking why it's leaking. And because the emptiness is invisible, they often blame the wrong things. They think, maybe I need to move to another city. They move. The emptiness follows them. Maybe I need another relationship. They find someone new. For a while, everything feels exciting again, until the excitement fades and the emptiness quietly returns. Maybe I need to become successful. They work harder than ever. Years later, they achieve everything they wanted, only to discover that the same question is still waiting for them at the end of the journey. Why do I still feel empty? This is where psychology reveals something most people never hear. Your brain doesn't only need pleasure. It also needs meaning. It needs genuine human connection. It needs purpose. It needs emotional safety. It needs moments where you aren't performing for anyone. Yet modern life teaches us to measure ourselves using completely different standards. More followers, more money, more productivity, more attention, more achievements. None of these are bad. But when they become the only source of your identity, your inner world slowly begins to disappear. Without realizing it, you stop asking yourself how you actually feel. Instead, you only ask how you're doing compared to everyone else. And that's the moment emotional emptiness quietly begins growing. The most dangerous part is that it doesn't destroy your life overnight. It slowly disconnects you from it. You continue functioning. You keep showing up. You smile in photos. You answer messages with, "I'm good." You laugh when everyone else laughs. But inside, something important has gone silent. And if you ignore that silence long enough, your brain starts sending stronger signals. Not to punish you, but to get your attention. The question is, are you listening? As strange as it sounds, That emptiness isn't always a sign that something is broken inside you. Sometimes it's your brain asking for something you've stopped giving it. Deep inside your brain is a network called the default mode network, a system that becomes active whenever you're not focused on the outside world. It's the part of your mind that reflects, remembers, imagines, and tries to understand who you are. But today, the moment this network begins to activate, most of us instantly silence it. We unlock our phones. We open another app. We watch another short video. We check another notification. We fill every quiet moment with noise because silence feels uncomfortable. The problem is that your brain doesn't heal through constant stimulation. It heals through awareness. Imagine trying to hear someone whisper while standing next to a jet engine. That's exactly what happens to your emotions when your life is filled with endless distractions. Your feelings never disappear. They simply become impossible to hear. This is why many people suddenly break down while driving alone, sitting in the shower, or lying awake at night. Nothing new happened in that moment. The distractions simply stopped, and their real emotions finally had a chance to speak. Psychology calls this emotional avoidance. The more you avoid uncomfortable emotions, the stronger they quietly become. It's like pushing a beach ball underwater. You can keep forcing it down for a while, but the moment you lose your grip, it shoots back to the surface with even greater force. The same happens with loneliness, grief, fear, disappointment, and emotional exhaustion. They don't disappear because you ignore them. They simply wait. Then one ordinary day, they return all at once, making you believe something is suddenly wrong with you. But often, nothing is wrong with you. You've simply been disconnected from yourself for too long. Here's something fascinating. Researchers have found that people who regularly experience a sense of purpose, meaningful relationships, gratitude, and self-awareness report significantly higher levels of long-term well-being than people who constantly chase pleasure alone. That's because pleasure gives your brain excitement, but meaning gives your brain stability. Pleasure fades. Meaning grows. One lasts for minutes. The other can shape an entire life. So instead of asking, how can I feel happier today? Psychology suggests asking a different question. What am I avoiding feeling? That single question can completely change the direction of your life. Maybe you've been living according to other people's expectations for so long that you've forgotten what you actually want. Maybe you've become so busy proving your worth that you've stopped believing you already have it. Maybe you've spent years taking care of everyone else while quietly abandoning yourself. Or maybe you've confused being productive with being alive. The truth is, emotional emptiness isn't always something you need to fight. Sometimes it's something you need to understand. Because every emotion carries information. Anxiety says, pay attention. Fear says, be careful. Sadness says, something mattered. And emptiness often whispers, something meaningful is missing. That missing piece isn't always another achievement or another relationship. Sometimes it's rest. Sometimes it's honesty. Sometimes it's forgiveness. Sometimes it's purpose. Sometimes it's reconnecting with the version of yourself you left behind years ago. Healing doesn't happen the moment you discover the answer. It begins the moment you stop running from the question. So tonight, before you pick up your phone one more time, before you search for another distraction, sit quietly for just 60 seconds. No music, no scrolling, no television, just you and your thoughts. Notice what your mind tries to tell you when nobody else is speaking. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but that's where real self-awareness begins. Because the goal isn't to eliminate every uncomfortable feeling. The goal is to understand why it's there. And perhaps the greatest psychological discovery isn't learning how to escape your emotions.